cool. Just a couple old heads trying to figure out technology.
I know. We're like our parents now.
I mean, I'm old enough to be your parent, so that's worth something. So what's going on, Josh? I made the mistake last time of not letting Mike introduce himself. So you want to tell everybody your name and just give me a brief rundown of like your hockey experience growing up?
Yeah, sure. Josh Puma. I'm from Buffalo, New York. It's kind of where I grew up playing. And, just I started out in house league like everyone else and moved up through travel and got through the high school ranks and got up to college, and that's where I met you. And, there's not really too much more to say about that. I mean, pretty humble about my hockey background. Nothing too crazy, but.
How old are you? 30? 29?
I'm 29.
Good. Cool.
Yeah.
I figured you were.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, getting up there.
Okay, getting up there. We've been friends August of 2011, so 10 years, coming up on 10 years. So we met. You were
insane to think of.
You were my first friend at Canisius, I think. So there's something to be said about longevity. Yep. Sat next to you and found out. I think you were following Biz's Twitter account at that time was just popping off. And you were like,
definitely, that's when he started.
You were like, yo, have you seen this clown? And I was like, no. I was like, oh, you play hockey? I thought you were on the D1 team because you had like a sweet jacket, but turns out you were on the D1 team.
Yeah, D1 club, baby.
D1 club.
What other D1 is it?
Exactly. The first time that we hung out, I think had to have been hockey tryouts. So
it was in the locker
room. Perfect fit. So, and then you came and visited. You came and visited me when I lived out in that Trailer Park Boys, Sunnyvale Trailer Park.
Yeah, that was the best.
I didn't appreciate it at the time, but that was straight up Trailer Park Boys, Sunnyvale.
Would you have it any other way, though?
Yeah, I probably, probably wouldn't have lived in the trailer park. I probably would have maybe lived in a house on campus, but what are you going to do about it? I had the hookup then. That was a family friend of ours. He had that place out there. And so, I mean, I had the place to myself, whatever. It wasn't as cool as Delavan.
Hey, nice part of town.
Delavan was awesome.
Oh, Delavan was the best.
So, anyways, we'll exchange Canisius war
good
stories on another one. I wanted to have you on to talk about corporate challenge. As I'm getting into teaching adult hockey players, I'm seeing that there's not a lot of opportunities for people over 30 to play hockey and competitive hockey. And one of the things that I never participated in when I was in Buffalo, but I always knew about, was the corporate challenge. The corporate challenge is wild, man. Can you tell me about it?
Oh man, it's probably the greatest tournament I've ever participated in, and it's basically a bunch of local Buffalo companies buy into this this tournament. It's a 3-on-3 tournament. They kind of go side to side on the end zones instead of the long way. So you're playing fast paced, tight quarters hockey. I think it's 15 minutes, 2 periods, running clock. So it's just one face off to start the period, and then off you go. It's kind of like pond hockey, but inside you actually we play at KeyBank Center. So,
what has it always been played at that Sabres arena? Has it always been a big production, or was it a smaller one?
Yep. No, it's always been at the big barn. With the NHL guys, because that's actually, I forgot that's a big part of this tournament. Each team gets a former Buffalo Sabres alumni player to play with.
So cool. That's so cool. Did you ever play at KeyBank Arena, in high school or growing up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did the shootout. I got a shutout against St. Francis. I think actually Menard played there. I don't know if he was on that team, but yeah, it was against St. Francis in between like the second and third. I think it was senior year in high school.
See, those are cool memories, and that's one of the things about having an NHL team or like a big barn in the city is like giving kids an opportunity to play on a big ice. Did you ever do?
It's great. You know,
what's that big rivalry between you guys? You and where'd Dobin go to school?
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's. Yeah. Did you guys ever play them at like a big arena?
No, because they were never in the finals. So right. you don't. Yeah, Buffalo High School would only play. You know, you're only playing the finals at the big rink. So no, it was only Canisius. No St. Joe's.
We got sidetracked off that. I don't want to take a jab at Dobin or anything, but I didn't know if you ever got to play like a huge rivalry game there or anything growing up.
No, I mean, it got pretty heated in the locker room because we shared one in between periods. That little 3-round shootout, us and Franny's, we were kind of jawing at each other in the locker room. But other than that, nothing too crazy.
What are some of the pros that you've played with in the Corporate Challenge?
Oh, well, so the Corporate Challenge, I played with a construction company called John W. Danforth Company. And the CEO was on the board of directors for the Sabres. He played at Naval Academy in college. So, like, it's this big, like, 6'5", like, 300-pound, just, like, animal of a man. You know, I wouldn't want to play against him. So, he's huge into hockey. And so, back in, I think I was a junior or senior in high school, my cousin asked me if I wanted to play. I'm like, okay, I can skip school and, you know, get in there. He's like, yeah, no problem. So I get in there and I get in the locker room, drop my bag. It's like 6 a.m. Next guy in the locker room is Rob Ray. Now, I don't know how familiar you are being an out-of-town guy with Rob Ray, but he's huge around here. It's one of my heroes growing up, actually. So he was the first one.
I'm familiar with that crew of guys through those few years. I didn't know a lot of guys when I first moved up there. In fact, one of the first people I met, I don't know if he played for or how long he played, was Danny Gare. And I had no idea who he was.
Yeah, he was one of the pros.
So unassuming. Actually. Such an unassuming
50 goal
hockey
scorer,
body.
50 goal scorer, and you know, I'm pretty sure his name was in the rafters, but you know, that's not the Danny Gare that I got playing. You know, he's in his 60s.
What happened?
He was. I think he was hungover. I think he was on a fishing trip the day before. He put this like trash bag on under his equipment, so he's like, I just need to sweat this hangover out. So like we're playing full out hockey, and he's in this trash bag under his equipment in his jersey, just sweating it out.
What a beauty!
I don't think he got a goal the whole day.
Do those guys, are they volunteering their time to be there? They're not getting paid to be there, right?
Yeah. No, not at all. I think a lot of the retired Sabres actually still live here. You know, for whatever the reason, a lot of the pros stick around here, and the alumni community is really strong for the Sabres. I think they all enjoy it.
It was something I noticed. It was really cool, the amount of Sabres and even like family members of them, they end up staying even if, you know, maybe the player gets traded or they go somewhere else, like a lot of families. Kansas City's like that too, actually. They call it the Kansas City flu. Like guys will play here. Yeah, it
shut down the town.
I know, right? I shouldn't be saying that, but yeah, all these guys that end up playing in Kansas City for a couple of years, and the cost of living is super cheap. Like the schools are really good. Yeah. Like if you're living off one income,
it sounds similar to Buffalo.
Yeah, totally.
But better.
Except, yeah, your guys' taxes are outrageous. How much is gas there right now? Do you know?
That's a separate podcast altogether. We're at $225.
Okay, it's like $1.70 here. In fact,
Yeah.
I went to when I was
Unreal.
hunting. I went a county south, like out of the big county, and it was $1.55. And tobacco is like $2 a tin. Name
Yeah,
brand.
it's like $7.50 for the off-brand here.
But we also have like one of the most unhealthy states. So whatever.
Oh, you see
Beer
the people around
beer's
Buffalo.
cheap.
We're not very healthy either.
I think that's more like genetic and immigration.
It's all that food.
Just I don't think so. I think it's more like just the type of people that immigrated there from like Eastern Europe and
Yeah.
huge Polish population.
Right here. Tell you what, proud.
Dyngus Day. Dyngus Day is always fun.
Best in the country.
I always feel like I'm going to get canceled every year. I talk about Dyngus Day and I have to tell people about pussy willows. I'm like, they use these things.
It's this
pussy
thing.
willows.
Yeah. You'd have to go. You'd have to be there.
Have there ever been any fights at Corporate Challenge? Any of the NHL'ers ever get in any fights?
Yeah, actually, this one year we were playing Michael Peca. So he was a Sabres legend. He was a captain for a bunch of years here in town. And my boss's kids, actually, I think they're 2 years younger than me. So they'll be 27. So you figure they were probably like 19 years old at the time. And this is a no contact tournament, obviously. It's, older guys, just having fun. And they body Mike Peca in the corner. It's a playoff game. So Mike Peca goes down. He gets back up. He swings his stick. Misses the one brother. And the other brother just tomahawks Peca from behind. And they're actually blacklisted from the tournament itself. They can't be on any team in the future. So
I can understand that, though. I was talking to an older gentleman today about like pros playing beer league. Like I know Jay McKee still plays beer league, and like he was asking me like, do those guys fight and stuff? I'm like, no, it's kind of the opposite. Like every time they play somebody, that the person they're going to play is going to go super hard because they want to like show that they played against some NHL'er. So
yeah, and they're just fooling around, making everyone look stupid.
Yeah, and for them, you have to think about it too. Like most of those guys are 40. They've been playing hockey since they were 3 or 4. So it's like 36 years of hockey. Like the only thing that they can do to like meditate or decompress is probably play hockey, and it's like probably stressful as hell every time they try and do it.
Yeah.
Now, like you have to sign autographs, or guys are like trying to get your Instagram or take pictures with you. Like, I mean,
even trying to scrap you,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm
just
guilty
to go
of that.
toe to toe with the big NHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Or I mean, I haven't played against any, but I've had them on my team. And like, if you're on a line with one of those guys and they pass you the puck, or like you're up against somebody that's tough, like you want to show them, like, hey, I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't fumble the backhand sauce over the defender's stick. You got to cradle that thing.
Dude, it's funny you say that, because I when I worked with Matt Barnaby, we played in an adult tournament together up at like Niagara University this one year, and it was like I just finished helping him with the Regals and his son that year before. Like spent a whole ton of time around him and on the ice with him, and like trying to show him that I had some sort of hockey IQ or hockey competence, like not just some like farm kid from the Midwest that has no business being out there. We are playing in a game.
Ended up working out.
Yeah, well, I'm playing in a game with him. I'm like, this is awesome. We're finally we're gonna play. He gives me like the perfect pass, wide open net, and I like shank it wide. It was the one pass he ever gave me. He never passed it to me after that ever again.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
So
too funny. He's a great guy. Actually, I have a story about him with the corporate challenge. When Rob Ray was on my team, obviously those guys were playing together back in the day, and they're really good friends. So I was 17. This was my first year. I'm 17. I've been drinking all day long. Like I'm talking like 6 a.m. They roll out the Labatt Blue cooler, and you just take whatever the hell you want. So like in between games, before games, during the games, like I'm cranking beers. So this is like the end of the tournament. It's like you figure like 7 a.m. to like 6 p.m. just straight boozing. Get in the shower after the championship. We lost, by the way. Not important.
Not at all.
We get in there. I'm in the middle of Rob Ray on one side and Matt Barnaby on the other, in the shower, just chugging beers together. 17 years old, like greatest experience of my life. Just the stories they were going back and forth, and just chirping each other and everyone else in there. It was just felt like you were in the pros. I think that's the best part of this tournament. It makes you feel like you're an equal with the old Sabre players.
I'm sure you fit right in. I mean, me and you in the shower and chirping, that was what we did. The whole scratch life. Like, gotta make the best of the situation. Like,
definitely.
I had a different expectation of chirping and like being a pest. I've always been a pest or a rat when I play hockey.
Yeah.
But coming up and hanging around you, like my quip, I got so much better on my feet linguistically. Like, me and you would just sit in the corner of the bus or at a party or on a bench or somewhere, and we just roast everybody that would come by.
You constantly gotta grind that sword, sharpen that blade,
Right. And that's why we would take these long road trips, and we would sit next to like the funkiest dudes, and we could rip on them the whole time.
You have to. Yeah, that was just the culture growing up here. I can remember, doing your mama jokes and travel when we were like 8 and 9 years old. Like, it's just, we'd go up to Canada and, you'd make Canada jokes all day long. Like, and they would give it back to us, the Yankees and shit like that. But yeah, it was always part of hockey, and hockey was life. So it's always part of life, I guess.
Where do you think that comes from? Where do you think the chirping Canadian Letterkenny culture comes from? I watched a recent interview that talked about how the hockey guys in Letterkenny came about. I think it was on that other podcast, that one podcast that everybody listens to. But that was a character.
What's the name of it? It's not important.
I don't know. I'm still trying to fight Grinelli, LOCKERBOX him for 10 grand, but he's sleeping on me.
Oh, you'd ruin him.
He's running.
I'll put another 10 down.
It's two club hockey guys. He's like my size. We're both probably 5'0". They have the rough and rowdy. Just like throw a couple hockey helmets on us. I'll get Bauer to sponsor me. Get some sick new gloves.
We'll buy a corporate suite.
Let's do it. I mean, if Jake Paul is going to be out here chasing that around Conor McGregor, like, you better at least give me a shot at Grinelli. Whatever.
Dude, you would wipe the floor with him.
No,
you'd probably have to quit after. You'd beat the wheels off him.
No, I'd take a bribe from El Prez before. I know the drill. I play the game. I know how that
make
is.
That money, man.
Money
buys freedom.
I know what it's like to, the coach never asks you to fight. It's always just a look in his eyes when you catch him on the bench when you look back, and he's like,
for sure.
So did you have a rivalry with anybody when you played in the Corporate Challenge? Did you ever play somebody year after year?
Well, I used to like playing Jay McKee a lot. He was one of my favorite players growing up. Big D man, offensive guy, but he would eat pucks, so good all around defenseman, I guess you would say. And I was actually talking to Quigley. Maybe he's a future guest of the podcast. I don't know, but we're talking in class, and it was like the class before I was skipping the next one to go play in this tournament. And I was talking to him like, "Oh, Jay McKee." Like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but like one of his friends took that class too somehow, and it got back to him. And he's like, the goalie from Danforth is like saying this shit at Canisius College about you. So like, I tweeted him. I don't remember exactly what the tweet was. I'm sure
We're gonna
still
pull it
out
up.
there.
I'm gonna put it on the
Oh,
video. We're gonna
God.
find the tweet and put it in
geez.
the video.
I'm gonna get canceled. But we were going back and forth, and we played his team. Actually, I have a signed jersey of his because we beat his team in like the semifinals, and it was the game right as the game ended. The happy hour started, so it was an open bar for everyone who played in the tournament. So he signed the jersey. I thought he was going to beat me up. He cornered me in the locker room. I'm the only one in there, looking up at this guy. He's a treat, and I'm like, this guy's going to kill me. And he's like, I want to sign my good game out there. Thanks, kid. Like, I'm going to the bar. Like, I don't have to play in the stupid thing anymore. Like, I'm sore. I just want a couple beers. So he signed the jersey and gave it to me. No fisticuffs or anything, but it's just a cool story.
What a legend!
Oh, he's a great guy. Great guy.
I always used to see him out. He had that Fisker Karma. It was like the most obscure exotic sports car ever made. So it was like every time I'd see him,
there's only like 50 of them.
Yeah, beautiful car. I think one time too, I was at Northtown in the summer, and I parked next to him, and I had that shitty SUV, and I parked next to him, and I was pre-gaming, let's just say, before, and he was hanging out in his car, and of course I hop out, and he's got a St. Louis Blues shirt on. I'm like, okay, this guy knows what's up. I'm not going to say anything, but
he played for them, right?
I have no idea, but either way, it was pretty cool. That was the year he was coaching McDavid. He was coaching McDavid down in Erie.
That's so cool.
Which was another cool
That's another thing that's cool about Buffalo. You run into these guys,
Yeah. You have no idea who you're running into. And in fact, Schwant, I think, has a picture of me at City Tavern, and I'm posing in the background. A very famous ex-Sabre is like getting an over the pants HJ at the bar by some girl. It's like the best photo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like the back bar. Buffalo. He's like up against the bar like this. Like,
hey, they're just like us.
Totally KO. I miss Chippewa. That was a fun little street. Is it still around?
No, I'm pretty sure tumbleweeds are blowing down it.
It's such a shame. That's like other than Clifton Hill. That was my favorite place to go chase underage.
Clifton Hill was something. Everyone's got stories about Clifton Hill. That's another podcast altogether.
The Clifton Hill series. I didn't realize at the time that Canada was 19 to drink. So you would go up there and you'd go out to a bar, and in the United States,
plenty of bars.
In the United States, if it's 21 to drink, like 18, 19-year-old, maybe not 18, but definitely like 19, 20-year-old girls are going to be in there. Since it's 19 to drink, that means like 17-year-old girls are.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, it really is wild. I can't believe that America lets Canada have such a better time at Niagara Falls than us. Like, we get a state
Oh, my God, they smoke us. We have a nice park, but that's about it.
That's the Vegas.
They got casinos and amusement parks.
Canada's
and
Vegas.
A Ferris wheel overlooking the thing. Like, they just stomp us. Yeah. We don't know what we're doing Vegas. With that thing. It is.
And Niagara Falls. Yeah, we're gonna buy a chunk of land there and turn it into Canada's Vegas. The second American Vegas. Atlantic City's not very big anymore, so I don't know. Everybody wants to do the sport betting. If we could put like a river boat on Niagara Falls, like on the falls, that'd be pretty sick. We could do
just tethered like at the very edge of the falls. Yeah.
I bet that there's no law about gambling sports on a waterfall. Like, that's got to be international.
That's water, internet. Right? Yeah. Show me a precedent. You ain't gonna.
Right. Totally. We're guerrilla radio style. We'll hook it up. Well, we're closing in on 30 minutes. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're Big Daddy style, so.
Yeah.
How much wine do you have left? How much wine do you have left? Show me your wine glass. Okay, so we did good.
Yeah. Still got that to go. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a half.
Oh, yeah.
The old
Beauty.
The old cake bread. Oh,
maybe get a cake bread sponsor out of this.
You're not drinking. Congratulations, by the way.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Don't miss it. So we used to have some good times, though. I used to be able to hang back in the day.
Yeah, when Four Locos were Four Locos, you know.
No kidding. Well, and I mean, I don't want to step out of line too much here and ruin too many careers, but I was always so lucky that, I'm not speaking for you, I'm speaking for myself. I'm always so lucky that, like, all these hockey teams I played for, everybody, enjoyed cannabis, and, like, it wasn't a big deal if somebody would smoke instead of drink, or, like, I was lucky in that regard. And so it's been easy to supplement drinking with some other things. And speaking of that, there's some guys that I want to have on the podcast, I want to have conversations with, like Riley Cote and Daniel Carcillo, and some of these guys that are doing like really cool stuff with cannabis, hemp, and CBD, and some of this other stuff that's kind of been taboo, especially for hockey. But things have changed, especially with Canada, like, fully legalizing. Like, hockey's kind of going to be looked differently. I was really surprised that the new arena in Seattle wasn't like Weedmaps Arena.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, but
definitely. Hey, you know what? Maybe not this time, but maybe the next contract. When what's the name of it even? Do you know?
Climate Change Arena. It's Climate Change Arena.
Well, maybe when that runs out in about 12 years, give or take, depending on when they started the count, Weedmaps might take over the naming rights. Yeah, the market's huge.
Yeah, especially the advertising dollars. Like, I think that's where a lot of the budget is going for these giant corporations that have IPO'd and are on NASDAQ and are traded. They just been, it's all marketing. So, but that makes it easy to not drink, especially some good CBD.
Yeah, whatever. There's alternatives out there.
Whatever. Well, thanks for chatting with me, man. We're going to have you on again, and maybe we can, like, link up and play some hockey together soon. It's been 10 years.
Yeah, we're going to have to go to your state.
You will. You're going to have to drive because they won't let you fly back.
No. Nope. They put you in the gulag back here, but again, that's another podcast altogether.
Yeah. We're going to have to start saying that you're broadcasting live from Cuba, Maine.
Yeah. Feels like it more every day, Corey.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Is there anything you want to say before we end it, or you just want me to, like, press end?
No, I mean, just thanks for having me. I know we had the computer problems and all that leading up to this, but I really appreciate it. Inviting an old man to relive the war stories a little bit with you. It's made my day. Thank you.
Made my day.
Congratulations on the pro career. What you got going so far in the future, and I look forward to seeing you out there a little bit more.
Just out here getting it. All right, well, take it easy. Snapchat me after this, and I'll let you know when everything uploads.
Okay.
All right,
dude.
Take it easy. Tell Matt I said what's up.
Oh, of course. See you, man.
All right, later.